Good morning and namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's just take a few moments to become present. Find a nice, comfortable seated position where your back of your spine and back of your neck can sit nice and tall, opening up your chest, your diaphragm, and opening up your heart. Softly close your eyes and soften your thoughts. Soften your eyes. Soften your shoulders. Soften your heart. Observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes. For this morning's intention, you can think of a positive word or phrase to have with you on your mat, or perhaps carry with you throughout the day. This morning's intention I'd like to talk about, since yesterday was Earth Day, I'd like to use Earth Day as how you can use your Yama and Niyama guidelines and honor Earth Day in that way. So with the Yamas, if you remember, this is a nice recap as well. Yamas are how we interact with the world. The first Yama, which is ahimsa, and this is the most important of all the Yamas and Niyamas, it's kindness. And for Earth Day, it would translate into not harming the earth. Satya, which is truth, is understanding the truth of how our actions affect the earth. Asteya, which is non-stealing, we would be not stealing from the environment and future generations. Brahmacharya, which is not non-excess, invites us only to use what we need from Mother Earth. Aparigraha, non-possessiveness, is that we would be understanding that we are caretakers of the earth, not owners. For the niyamas, which are guidelines and how we interact with ourselves, this can be applied to Earth Day as well. For satya, which is purity, doing our part to keep the air, land, and water clean and pure. Santosha, which is contentment, is to be grateful for the gifts of the earth. Tapas, which is self-discipline, is restraining from overusing the earth's resources. Svadhyaya is self-study and understanding how nature interacts with us and every living thing. And the last one, Ishvara Pranidhana, which is surrender. And with surrender, I invite you to release our need to control the earth. Let Mother Nature give its gifts generously. So that is a recap of our Yamas and Niyamas, as well as how to apply them in your everyday life, and especially for Earth Day. So for this morning's meditation, I have kind of formed a guided meditation. So again, if you want to keep your nice comfortable seat and gently close your eyes. Take a deep inhale. And then with your exhale, release it longer than your inhale. Just relax and release and let that exhale be nice and long. Inhale again. And then deeply, relaxingly exhale, nice and long. Inhale again. And exhale, nice and long and relaxing. Envision yourself sitting in a lush green field of green grass, the first growth of the season in spring. Feel that connection to the earth. There's nothing between you and Mother Earth. Observe where you are. Perhaps you're sitting under a tree or next to a stream or high up on a hill. Or perhaps your favorite spot in your own yard. Listen to the birds. They're singing joyfully to each other, singing their courting songs. You hear the robins and the sparrows and the chickadees and even the crows. Take a deep inhale and a relaxing exhale. Visualize the sky as an azure blue with white puffy clouds floating by. Send any worries that you have up into the clouds and just watch them float by. Bringing you back to the present moment. Bringing you back to your connection to the earth, the joyful songs of the birds. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Take a deep inhale, and as you inhale, turn the corners of your mouth up into a nice, happy smile. Being grateful for all the gifts that Mother Nature has given us every single day. And deeply, relaxingly exhale. And you may open your eyes and we'll start our asana practice. Oscar left me Walla to join the practice this morning. So we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. Again, with our spine, back of our neck, nice, long and tall. We'll just start slowly with some shoulder shrugs. So rolling your shoulders forward and then up toward your ears on the inhale, and then back and down for the exhale. Just gently roll them up and back and down, forward, up, back, and down. And do this relaxing your shoulders, not to wind them up, not to create tension, but to relax everything in the upper body. So for Earth Day, the types of poses that we would do would be grounding poses, something really connecting to the earth, really feeling the earth underneath our feet, underneath our bodies. And also, because it's been so windy lately, I think it's just in general, even if it wasn't Earth Day, to be doing a session this morning of grounding poses. So I'm feeling that wind has kind of stirred up a little anxiety in me, and hopefully these poses will help to simmer that down. So you can relax your fingertips on your mat beside you. We'll do some sun breaths. So deep inhale, lifting your hands up over your head. And exhale, bringing your hands back down. Deep inhale up. And exhale down. Deep inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. And throughout today's practice, I invite you to really feel that connection with, I know we're seated on a mat and on a floor, and there's probably quite a number of inches between us and the ground, but really kind of eliminate all that in between and feel your connection to the earth. So one last time, up and down. And then we're going to do some seated twists. So lift your arms up and twist to the left and bring your arms down. Right hand on your left knee, your left hand sitting right behind your hips. Gaze is sent to the left. And then inhale, sweeping our hands up, continuing the flow, turning to the right and bringing your left hand down on your right knee and your right hand behind your hips. Gaze is sent over to the left. But inhale, sweep up again, like you're making this great big rainbow, and sweep down, placing your hands down on the left side of the mat. Right hand goes on your left knee. And then sweep again, big inhale, up and over, making a nice big rainbow arch. Hands come down. Big exhale. Inhale, sweep up. Twist to the left, exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. Sweep over to the right, exhale, come down. And one last round, inhale, come up. Sweep over to the left, and exhale, come down. We're going to come up on our hands and knees into tabletop. The tabletop, our knees are right below our hips. Our wrists are right below our shoulders. Fingers are splayed out and our weight is evenly distributed into our fingertips, not into our wrists. Navel's tucked to our spine, creating a nice flat back. Now we're going to walk our hands out front, keeping our knees and our hips where they are. Just slowly walk our hands out front. And you can continue walking with your hands, bringing your forehead down to the mat. Or if that's a little tense on your arms, you can bring your forearms down to the mat and bring your forehead back down to the mat. So it takes a little bit of pressure off the upper part of your arm. And this is extended puppy. So even though we do that downward dog, I think this is more of what our dogs do every single day. So this is a nice grounding connection to the earth, your third eye in your forehead, connecting with Mother Earth. And then walk the hands back. We'll come lower our hips onto our ankles, coming into child's pose. Arms are still out, extended in front of us. We'll just lower ourselves onto our thighs, kind of curling up into a ball. Then we'll walk our hands, just our hands, over to the right side of the mat, creating a little stretch in the left side of our torso. And just come to that sweet spot between effort and relaxation. And deeply breathe in and exhale. And then walk hands back to center. And then we'll walk them over to the left side of the mat. And find that sweet spot, that spot where you can still breathe comfortably. And take a nice big inhale and exhale. And then walk our hands back to center. We'll come back up to tabletop. And we'll do a few cat-cows here. So again, bring yourself back to tabletop, evenly distributing your weight in your hands. Navel's tucked to the spine. And exhale, rounding our back, dropping our head and tailbone down. Inhale, lifting our head and tailbone up, sending our gaze out in front for cow. And exhale, rounding the back, dropping the head and the tailbone down for cat. Inhale, lift head and tailbone up for cow. And gently push down in your hands to create that space between your shoulders and your ears. Exhale, rounding your back to cat. Inhale, arching your back, lifting your head and tailbone up. And slowly continue at your own pace, connecting your breath to your movement. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Then come back to flat back, tabletop. We'll walk our hands back. We're just going to keep our toes on the mat and come into a kneeling position. So the kneeling position, you can either come back and rest your hip bones on your heels. If that's uncomfortable, you may want to bring your hips upward so that you're on your knees and perhaps put a blanket underneath. Or you can even tuck your toes under and have your hips resting on your heels. 3 ways, or your own invention. So we're going to bring our hands in back of us, relaxing our shoulders, rolling them back, interlacing our fingers behind our hips. We're going to send our interlaced fingers out away from our hips. And then just kind of drop back a little bit, just like when we do a supported back bend. One of the frequently seen poses that I saw in Earth Salutations, and I'll tell you, every video I watched on Earth Salutations was different. Well, this one showed up a lot, and it was camel's pose. But me not being a huge fan of camel's pose, I think just there's a lot of other ways you can achieve that same effect, like this. So just let gravity guide you and how far back you want to go. And then come back up to tabletop. And this time we'll tuck our toes under, walk our hands back, come on to our balls of our feet, and then push down, coming up into mountain pose. We'll go through our mountain essentials. So our big toes are pointing toward the straight edge of our mat. We'll lift our toes up and off the mat and send them down into the mat, lifting our heels up off the mat. And then lower our heels and really connect to the earth, really rooting ourselves down. We do this every class, and it's a really wonderful grounding pose. So part of the mountain essentials is our legs are nice and straight and strong, soft, gentle bend in your knees, navel's tucked to your spine, creating a nice long spine in back of your neck. Shoulders are relaxed and rolled back. Chin is tucked just slightly in, so you're not extending your chin outward. That creates a nice long spine in the back of your neck as well. And then crown of your head reaches to the sky. We're going to sweep our hands up, big inhale. And then exhale, forward fold, bending your knees deeply, bringing your hands down to the earth, down to the mat. And just check in with your body. Feel any tension that you may be experiencing this morning. Send deep, nourishing breaths to that tension. See if you can ease it up a little bit. And then bring your hands to your shins. Flatten out your back. Nice, long, straight spine. Your gaze is down so that your back of your neck and spine are a nice, long line. And then drop your head, the crown of your head down toward the ground for forward fold. Then sweep your hands all the way up from the bottom on up overhead and come up onto your tippy toes. And we'll do a little bit of swaying here with palm tree. Nice balance. And for once, today is not windy, well, yet. But yeah, it's been so crazy windy lately because I feel like this. Actually, this reminds me of John Baptiste's Freedom video. If you haven't seen that, it's wonderful to watch. When he dances like this, he feels freedom. So then we'll set our heels down, bring our hands back down, forward fold, bending the knees. Inhale, Bring your hands up to your shins, flatten out your back, sending your gaze down, half forward fold. And then bring the crown of your head down toward the ground for forward fold. And sweep your hands from the mat all the way up overhead, bringing your palms together up overhead. Then drop your right hand to your right thigh, and we'll slide it down toward our right knee for supported side stretch. Then inhale, bring that right hand up to meet the left. Bring the left hand down to your left hip, slide it down toward your left knee, and then back up again. And then the right hand comes down, slide it down toward your right knee, and back up. And lastly, the left hand comes down, sliding it down toward your knee, and then back up. Bring your hands back up overhead, and then send them down to the floor, bending your knees on your way down. And then send your hands up to your shins, creating a nice flat back. Send the crown of your head down toward the floor, forward fold. Then inhale, sweep your hands from the floor all the way up overhead. Palms come together, and palms come to heart center. And we'll do the tree pose. So starting with your left foot being nice and grounded and rooted into the earth, we're going to lift our right leg up. Feel the stability in your left leg, the strength in your left leg. And then with our right foot, we can place it either on the toes on the mat and heel on your right heel on your left ankle, or you can bring it up to your shin. Or if you want, you can bring it all the way up to your thigh. Whoa. And once you've found your stability, maybe using a drishti to focus on, send your hands up over your head, and then open them wide like the leaves are branching out on a tree. And we'll do that on the other side. So place your right foot down. Feel nice and secure and rooted into the mat. Palms come together, heart center, and lift your left leg up. Feel that stability. And then place your left foot either on your ankle, right shin, or right thigh. And if you're wiggling, that's fine. Trees wiggle, they sway. And then bring your hands up overhead and create that nice big canopy of branches on your tree. And bring your foot back down. Inhale, sweep your hands up overhead. We'll do one last forward fold. So bring your hands back down to the mat. Hands up to the shins, flat back. Really stretch out that back. And then drop our crown of our head down toward the mat. And sweep our hands from the floor all the way up overhead. Palms come together. Palms come to heart center. And then palms come to the back of your hips with the fingertips pointing down. Feet are about hip width apart. Our shoulders are nice and relaxed, rolled back. Chin is tucked to the chest. And just send your shoulders back till you find that sweet spot where you feel that ease and relaxation and a little bit of an edge. And you're still able to breathe nice, gentle breaths. And then bring your shoulders back up. And sweep our hands up over again, big inhale. And bring our hands all the way down and placing them onto the mat, bending our knees. We're going to send our right foot back, come into runner's lunge. The runner's lunge, our left knees over our left ankle. Toes are pointing forward. The back leg is nice and straight and strong and has an activeness. It's not just sitting there. You can generate some energy in it by pushing your back heel toward the back of the mat. Then we place our right hand down on the mat and sweep our left hand all the way up to the sky. And if you'd like to follow your hand with your eyes, you're welcome to do so. And then bring your left hand back down. Bring your right knee down to the mat and the top of your right foot down to the mat. Now we're going to do a few half monkeys here. So we're going to ride this. I like riding this leg down on this pose. So we're going to, with your ribs on your thigh, you can just kind of straighten that front leg out and ride your leg down into half monkey. Then inhale, bring your knee back up and send it ahead a little bit while you lift your head up and gaze to the front of your mat. So we're going to straighten our leg again, riding our ribs on our thigh, bring our head down toward our knee, stretching out those hamstrings. And then inhale, bring the knee back over the ankle and then just send it a little bit forward, not to exceed the tops of your toes, and send your gaze up and out. And one last time, half monkey, we're going to bring our head down toward our knee. And then send our knee back over the ankle and then just a little bit of head, sending our gaze up and out. Then we're going to bring our left knee down to the mat, come back to tabletop. And we do a pose that I don't often do. I don't know if I've even done it before in this class, but it's called the dolphin pose. So we're going to bring both forearms down to the mat, interlace our fingers. So it's a bit of like the extended puppy we did. Then you're going to send your right foot back with your toes down on the mat. And then send your left foot back. You're going to come into a dolphin in the plank style. So your hips are elevated slightly, your navel's tucked to your spine. And this is called dolphin. So push down on your heels, pushing them to the back of the mat, energizing your legs. And then bring your knees down to the mat and your tummy down to the mat. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Fingers are splayed wide apart. Elbows are tucked to the side. Gently push up, or if you can, pull your chest up by its own, coming into cobra. And then push up into tabletop and then down into child's pose. We'll come back up to tabletop. Tuck your toes underneath and raise your hips up to the sky, coming into downward dog. And just pedal out here for a few moments. Fingers are spread wide apart. Index fingers pointing to the top of the mat. Arms are nice and straight. Chest is reaching toward your thighs, sending your hips up slightly. And keep a nice bend in your knees if you're not pedaling, or if you are pedaling, keep a bend in your knees. Really feel that connection to the earth with your hands and your feet. Feel like you're walking along, either in that lush spring growth, or maybe on a beach. And it's nice every now and again to take off your shoes and just walk around on the grass, your bare feet, then check for ticks, of course, or go to the beach and walk barefoot. Then we'll slowly walk our feet up to our hands, coming into forward fold. Then inhale, slowly roll up, come up to mountain. Bring your hands up overhead. Palms come together, and palms come to heart center. And we'll do that again on the other side. And when you're doing your monkey and your dolphin and your cobra, think about the environments that these particular animals live in, that Mother Earth has provided. The rainforests for the monkeys, the oceans for the dolphins, and the deserts for the cobra. They're all part of our beautiful earth. So inhale again, sweep our hands up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, bringing both hands down to the mat. We're going to send our left foot down to the back of the mat. Right knee is over your right ankle. Heels pushing to the back of the mat. Place our left hand down on the mat and sweep our right hand up to the sky. And then bring our right hand back down to the mat. Bring your left knee down to the mat, left top of your foot down to the mat. And we'll do a few monkeys. Just think of them running around in the rainforest. So inhale and straighten out our leg. Actually, probably exhale would work better here. Then inhale, bringing the knee forward over the ankle and then toward the toes, but not to exceed the top toe. Sending your gaze up and out. And then exhale, straightening out your leg. Bring your head down toward your knee. Then inhale, bringing the knee back up over the ankle and then toward the big toe, sending your gaze up and out. And one last time, straightening the knee, bringing your head down toward the knee. And then inhale, bringing the knee up over the ankle and then toward the big toe, sending our gaze up and out for the half monkey. We'll bring our right foot back down so we're in tabletop, and then bring our forearms down to the mat. Interlacing our fingers, we'll come into dolphin. So extend your right leg so your toes are on the mat, and then extend your left leg so your toes are on the mat. You're in a dolphin plank pose. Navel's tucked to the spine, elevating your hips. Then push your heels down toward the back of the mat. And then lower your knees to the mat and lower your tummy to the mat. Bringing your hands underneath your shoulders. Fingers are splayed out, elbows tucked to the ribs, and gently push or lift your chest up into cobra. And then lift up to tabletop and send your hips down to your ankles, coming into child's pose. Then come back up to tabletop, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up to downward dog and pedal out here just for a few moments. And then slowly walk your feet up to your hands, coming into forward fold. And sweep your hands from the mat all the way up overhead. Palms come together, palms come to heart center. And this next part is a Earth Salutation that we've done before. And I just think it's almost like a Tai Chi type of movement. So we're going to come into mountain pose. And we'll start with the hand movements. So think of this Earth Salutation as the idea of planting a seed, having the stalk shoot up, the roots go down, the sun nourishing and the rain nourishing the seedling to provide growth for it. So we'll start with our hands interlaced, kind of down near our pelvic area. And their palms are facing up toward our face. I'm going to inhale, and the breath connection to the movements are really key to this salutation. So inhale, lifting the hands up toward our neck. So the stalk is coming up out of the ground. And then turn our hands so that the palms are facing down to the ground, and then push down with our exhale. So the roots are going down into the earth. And then we're going to sweep our interlaced fingers, still palm facing down, out and up and around, just like the sun is coming up over the horizon. And then we'll release our fingers and then wiggle our fingers like the rain and bring them down like the rain is coming down onto the ground. So again, bring our fingers together, interlace them, palms facing up. Inhale, bring your hands up, flip them, exhale, pushing them down, rooting into the soil. Inhale, sweeping the sun up, having it come up over the horizon. Exhale, release our fingers and have the rain come down. Interlace again, palms facing up. Inhale, flip the palms, exhale, push down. Inhale, let the sun rise. Exhale, let the rain come down. Interlace together, stalk comes up, inhale. Life energy comes into it. Exhale, push down, roots go into the soil. Inhale, sun comes up. And exhale, the rain comes down. Now we'll add lower body movements to this. So we're going to bring our feet out into a wide-legged stance. Our toes are pointing to the corners of the mat, heels tucked in at a 45-degree angle. So bring our hands together. It's going to be the same hand movement. Hands come up. And then on the way down, flip the palms. We're going to push them down, but as you're pushing down, you're going to bend your knees, keeping your torso straight, and come down into a squat. And then inhale, bringing the sun up and bringing yourself back up and letting the rain come down. So interlace again. Inhale, bring your hands up. This time we're going to pivot on our heels, using your heels, pivot to the right, and then push your hands out in front, coming into a lunge position. Inhale, bringing your hands up overhead as the sun comes up, and then releasing your fingers, have the rain coming down. And then pivot on your heels back to center. Inhale, come up. We're going to pivot on our heels, turning to the left, push out, coming into a lunge position. Inhale, come up, the sun comes up, and the rain sprinkles down. You pivot on your heels back to center. Inhale, lift your hands up. This time we're going to push down and come into a forward fold. So make sure your feet are in a 45-degree angle, bending your knees deeply. We're going to bring our hands all the way down to the mat. And then sweep our hands out, big sunrise. And coming up overhead and let it rain down. Then we'll bring our feet back together for mountain pose. We'll do one inhale, just our hand movements. Inhale, and then exhale, pushing down. Inhale, letting the sun rise. Exhale, the rain comes down. And then we're going to bring our left leg out into a wide-legged stance. We're kind of shifting to the left here. And we'll do the same thing. So inhale, lifting up. Exhale, going to keep your torso straight and bend your knees, coming down into a squat. Bringing your hands up and out with the sun rising. Exhale, letting the rain come down. Inhale, lifting up. Pivot on your heels to the left, push out, coming into a lunge position. Inhale, lift up overhead, and then sprinkle the rain down. Come back to center, pivoting on your heels. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, push down. Oops, no, sorry. Inhale, lift up. We're going to pivot on our heels to the right. Exhale, push out. Lunge position. Inhale, lift up for the sun, and exhale, rain comes down. Come back to center. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, we're going to forward fold on this. Push down all the way down into the earth. Forward fold. And then swing your hands out. Big sunrise. Up overhead, and gently sprinkle your rain down. Do that one more time. Do a little faster, and the sign says. So inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Inhale, sun. Exhale, rain. Right leg goes out. Feet are 45-degree angle. Inhale up. Exhale, keep this torso straight, bending the knees, come down into squat. Inhale, big round sun comes back up. Exhale, rain comes down. Inhale up. Pivot on your feet to the right, your heels, and then exhale, coming into a lunge, pushing out in front of you. Inhale, bringing the sun up and the rain down. Come back to center. Inhale up. Pivot on your heels to the left. Lunge position, push out. Sun comes up and the rain comes down. Come back to center. Inhale, lift up. Exhale all the way down, forward fold, bending at the knees. Bring your hands all the way down to the mat. And then big sunrise. And the rain comes down. Come back to center. And one last inhale comes up. Exhale down. Sun comes out. And the rain comes down. Excellent, everyone. We bring your pinky toes to the edges of the mat. Again, your feet are at 45-degree angle. And bring your hands to your heart center. And we're going to do a wide leg squat. So bringing your torso down toward the mat. Your elbows come into the inner part of your knees. And you can stay here. If you want a little bit more stretch, you can send your prayer pose hands down toward the mat, which will push your knees out a little bit further. And then we'll bring our seat down onto the mat. And we'll roll back. We can slowly roll back one vertebrae at a time, or rapid by tucking your hands under your knees and just rolling back, whichever you prefer. And bring your knees to your chest. Give them a nice gentle hug. And you can rock back and forth. Give your lower back a nice massage. Maybe make circles with your toes, kind of make a nice, draw a nice big full moon with your toes. And then maybe draw it the other way, reverse your direction. And then bring your feet down to the mat and bring them close to your hips, but have them hip width apart. Maybe if you can, touch the top of your fingers to the back of your heels. And we'll do a few cat-cows on our back and then lift up into bridge pose. So starting with the supine cat-cow. So we're going to kind of tilt our pelvis up, creating a nice bowl shape in our lower abdomen area. So that's the cat. And then we're going to round or bring our tailbone back down to the mat and kind of arch our back. So that's the cow. And then we're going to inhale. It's the reverse of when we're on our knees. So inhale to cat. So you're creating that rounded bowl. You feel the tension in your front of your thighs. And exhale, kind of tilt your pelvis down, arching your back so you can slide your hand underneath your back. That's on the exhale. Inhale to cat, making that rounded bowl shape. Exhale to cow. And then we're going to, on the next cat, we're going to, again, round our back, tilting our pelvis up, push down into your feet, and lift your hips up toward the sky. They don't need to go up very far. Just want to get the inversion effect of this. And then slowly on the exhale, really slowly lower back down to the ground, feeling every connection of your vertebrae to the mat. Till you get down to your tailbone. And then we're going to do another rounding of the back, making the cat. Exhale, cow. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. Then inhale, cat. Push down your feet and lift up to bridge. Deep inhale. And then exhale, slowly lower back down with a deep, long exhale, connecting every vertebrae with the earth. All the way down to your tailbone. We'll do that one more time. So cat, making that bowl with your tummy. Cow, making that arch underneath your back. Cat. Exhale, cow. Inhale, cat. Push down into your feet, lifting up to bridge. And then slowly exhale, nice long exhale, connecting every vertebrae back down to the earth. Back down all the way to your tailbone. And then you can stretch out your feet to the bottom of the mat and prepare for Shavasana. Just relax. Shavasana is a pose, and it's a relaxation, restorative pose. Let your feet come to the corners of the mat and just let your feet flop open. Your arms come out on a diagonal from your body with the palms facing up. And take deep breaths and deep exhales. With each exhale, just let your body sink deeper and deeper into the mat. Just think about that lush spring grass, lying in the grass, letting your body just connect deeply in a relaxed way with the earth. Today I have a poem for you by William Wordsworth titled The Daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle in the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils.